Hello and welcome to Digging the Course 365. We've had to leave the Manor House. So here I am approaching my manor for the very last time, going through my electric gates to enjoy my manor, you know. You have to excuse me, I'll just have to make a call to the butler to get the gates to open for me. In my manor, playing pool with an open fire, listening to 80s music. Get in. Yes, Lord Dan is now just typical scruffy Dan, just like he used to be. I've lost my title. And I've headed south, way south, past London, completely cut London out. I'm going to the island of Sheppey. The island of Sheppey, which I'm not meant to be at for another week, but I thought, you know what? There's no sand anywhere before then, so what's the point in hanging around here? Let's get to Sheppey. So that's where I'm going. Today what I'm going to be doing with you is taking you to Maidstone Museum. Maidstone Museum, it looks very, very, very cool, and it's free. So we'll do the museum today. Tomorrow morning we're getting up bright and early, and we're going to be metal detecting on a beach on the island of Sheppey. Come with me to Maidstone Museum. So just entering the museum and looking at the first things, it's quite exciting so far from what I can see. You've got this beautiful uniform here. Okay, this is... can I get a date? Can I get a date? No, I don't know a date on that. But look at that uniform. Now that is the exact uniform worn by that man there. Look, he's wearing the uniform. That is really cool. You can't normally associate the uniform with the person, but they've managed to do that. And then you've got other uniforms, lots of different parts. Here, I'll just show you that bit. You know, some people do like to pause the video and read all about it. So there you go. Fill your boots, enjoy yourself. You've got uniforms here from the 1840s, 1880s. A couple here, look. Really good condition. And this is what really caught my eye, because this is dated 1780. It was used to put ammunition in it. A little leather handbag. It's a bit girly, really, isn't it? You know, you can imagine that with like a pink frilly bit on it, what women would wear, but it's actually from, it's military, and it's from 1780. I'd just like to give a massive, massive shout out to somebody. I've just been to Burger King for something to eat, and you know where you put your own rubbish in the like box things, and they've got bin liners in there, and you throw your rubbish in, and your tray on top. Well, I emptied my pocket because I had some dirty tissues and things in there. I emptied my pocket and threw it in there. One thing I threw in there was a little token, which is for the car park, and you have to put that in a machine at the end, and it tells you how much you have to pay, and then you put your money in the machine, and then you can get out of the car park. I threw it in the bin. So I got the bin out. I'm in the middle of Burger King, on the floor, scratching through rubbish, looking like a right scruff, and one of the members of staff came over and he says he'll find it, he'll look for it, and he did. 20 minutes later he came back with me car park token. I'll show you the token if you like. There it is. So thank you very much, Mr. Burger King boy. Good service. This is a very, very impressive museum. It's actually free to enter this museum. Maidstone Museum. All these are from the 1800s. All military, different battles, different personal belongings. But in very good condition for their age. Look, I always like to see these powder horns for gunpowder. Usually made of ivory. You may remember I found some part of a spur earlier on this trip. There's some from, they're about World War II, 1936 to 1946. Along with the rest of this particular soldier's uniform. You've got a million medals in here, which I'm not going to go into detail of any of them. I just wanted to show you just how many there are. And as you can see, they've got the pictures of the guys who actually earned all these. Pretty impressive. You know, if I had the time and could be bothered, look at all them. They all belong to one person. Maybe Bertie Pond, sorry. Or one of them, I don't know. I haven't got enough time to read through it, but wonderful collection. Now these horse hooves are real horse hooves from a horse called John, which was ridden in World War I by a colonel, and he's had them turned into, one of them has been turned into an inkwell and the other one into a match holder. Amazing, amazing. To think they were riding through World War I. Just been evacuated from the museum. Fire alarm's gone off. Okay, we're in the Tudor part now. I think this is all Tudor. It's all from like the 1600s. All these paintings and cupboards and things. We just had a bit of a scare. The fire alarm went off. They were doing a practice apparently. But it really interrupted what I was doing. You know, I was filming. I was doing everything right and cool and hard. And fire alarm went off. We all had to go outside. Yeah, all 17th century. This is all stuff, guys, from the time of year of the manor house I've just been staying in. So you can imagine things like this in that manor house. Now we're going back into the 1600s. You've got Lady Anne Brockman there, and her husband, Sir William Brockman, there. Take a good look at them. I think he could have done better, don't you? You know, if he were like a sir and had a lot of money, he could have done better than that. Ugh. So here you have the armour they would be wearing back in the 1600s. And the swords. Very good condition. But I just can't get over Lady Anne Brockman. No offence, love, but you're really not that nice. So this is a very interesting cabinet. There's a few things I want to show you in here. You've got a key here which was from Maidstone Jail. I'm in Maidstone. This is Maidstone Museum. Look at the size of that key. Look at my hand. It is huge. And that key was used between the 1760, I think. Let me just check. 1746 to 1819. Who would carry a key like that? And as a complete contrast, something completely different, the shelf below, you've got a trainer here with a little compartment taken out of the heel there. And prisoners would sneak in contraband, I presume, in the bottom of the trainer like that. This noose actually hung 3 people back in 1830 on Christmas Eve. I can even give you the names. John Field and two brothers called William and Henry Packman. Quite morbid to think 3 people's lives were taken by that on Christmas Eve. By the year 1660, this was a standard issue way of a policeman letting everyone know there was something, you know, they were dealing with something, to raise the alarm, to get other policemen to come to the area. And they had a rattle. And funnily enough, these moved on to be used in football. Football fans used to wave these around. I never knew that. I thought they just always had whistles. A lot of metal detectorists do find things like this, but not in condition like this. This is the Maidstone seal from 1567, and that is the image it would portray. Look at that. And I've seen a few of these on my travels in the last 45 days. A policeman's cosh, but I've never seen one as violent looking and as that will do a lot of damage. That's from about 1900. Now here is a medicine chest from the 1700s, and it actually belonged to somebody who was fighting in the Battle of Waterloo. It was one of Napoleon's officers, but at the Battle of Waterloo apparently something happened and he was sentenced to death. And he got killed by firing squad in 1815, but he actually owned that. Now everything in this cabinet are from an ophthalmic hospital. I don't know what that is. Diseases of the eye, it says there. And yeah, there is glasses in here and things I don't want to look at. So maybe it is something to do with medical problems and diseases of the eye. But I just wanted to show you. That's a very early rat trap from the early 1800s. And this here is actually a key which was made by an inmate, if you call them inmates, a patient of this kind of hospital. Presumably they were planning on escaping, but didn't manage it. You can actually see on the end of the key there it says Maidstone. As you can see behind me, there's like a big pile of art. Let's go somewhere else. There's more things to see. So there you have 2 tankards from a local pub. Now this pub was called the Foresters Arms, and it was from the 1500s, and it got bombed in World War II. A 250 kilogram bomb with a delayed action on it landed on the pub, but no one was in there. It was evacuated, but the bomb disposal people went in, and then there was a big explosion, and yeah, they got entombed in there. Unfortunately, they died in there. But that is 2 of the tankards from that pub. That's a cabinet full of ladies' clothes. And in here, you've got a cabinet full of school kids' clothes. Oh, and in here you've got ladies' underwear. Look at that. Look at that. That's proper ladies' underwear from like a long time ago. Oh. Oh, are you pregnant? It's been a long time. It's been a long time. So now we've moved into the dinosaur and fossil area. That's not real, but that is a real skull. Medieval skull. I don't like to see them. I really don't. That should be in the ground, man. And then you've got some bones here with people's art drawn on them. I don't know how old they are. Let me have a look. Stone Age. I've just had a look. It's Stone Age art. And then you've got, look at that size of that tusk. That's my arm. That's a mammoth's tusk. A mammoth's jaw. That is huge. So they're all mammoth bits. Moving along over here, you've got more mammoth bits. That's, what's that? That's a left shoulder blade. And then moving over here, you've got 3 skulls. You've got a horse's skull. You've got a rhinoceros's skull. And an ox's skull. I don't know the dates on them though. But they're from the Ice Age. Now that's quite impressive. This is local. They found this locally, and that's a dinosaur's claw. And that is probably the same length as my arm, my hand. Imagine finding that. Now this has become pretty famous in Maidstone, where we are, and I'll tell you why. This was found in 1834. Huge fossil, it's about 5 foot tall, and it's the fossil of an iguanodon. Now an iguanodon, it's a South American lizard, or it was millions of years ago, but the word actually means tooth. So this dinosaur was called Tooth. I know you can't really see what it's about there. This is the guy who found it. But I can show you what one looks like. You know, just how you imagine a dinosaur to look. There you go. And the funny thing is, Maidstone, as a city, I think it's a city or town, large town, I don't know which it is, actually have the iguanodon on the coat of arms, on the local coat of arms now, all because of this find. I suppose I should show these for geologist Sam, as resident geologist. There you go, Sam, fill your boots. And anyone else who's interested in stones and rocks and stuff. That's quite pretty. A9, that's a geothite, I believe, from memory. Yeah, you've got more in here, look, they've all got numbers and letters. Just take a good look at them, enjoy them, and then read all about them there. It's free. I've absolutely no idea. Don't ask. There's no signs. It's not real. It's just, I don't know. They've built it into a wall. It's just like poop. I don't know what that's all about. So that, I think, is a replica of my ex-girlfriend. But if you look over here, I believe that's my ex-wife. And down here, God, I remember kissing her in college. It's like a... oh my God, all these memories coming back. It's like a... you know, the history of Deep Digger Dan's love life. You know, they appear good on the outside, but as soon as you get into the core of it, they all look like that. That reminds me, I really should give my mother a ring when I get out of here. It's been a week or two now. So now we've come into the part I really like. This is all Anglo-Saxon things. Axe heads, swords, arrowheads, you name it. Have a quick look through them. A few gold items here, look. Look at them. What have we got? 13 and 14. They're just alloy studs. Copper alloy studs. They look gold anyway. But something caught my eye. There, look. Spindle walls. This is Anglo-Saxon. I thought spindle walls were only from like 1600s. I didn't realise they did them 1300 years ago. And they haven't really changed. And I can't say I've ever seen that before either. That is a toy, a Roman toy axe. Fantastic. I think what I'm going to have to do at this stage is put some music on in the background and just let you enjoy these, because some people do like to read the signs and look through the items, and there are some amazing Anglo-Saxon items in here. So we're going back as far as Neolithic times now. We're talking old. You've got some Neolithic tools in here. All found in this area. And then we move on to the Iron Age and something else I've just learnt. You take a look at these. These look like Roman fibulas in a way. So maybe the Romans actually copied the design of a fibula off the Iron Age people. So that's quite cool. That is absolutely amazing. That's an handle off a bucket made out of bronze. And then you've got more Iron Age things found. I've shown you one of them before. I know for a fact that comes off the end of a spit for a fire. Number 3. There you go. Pot hooks and fire dog. Because we saw one of them complete in another museum. And then you've got Roman pottery. A hoard of Roman coins. Gold staters. Still in the Roman times, we're moving on to Roman keys. This is how you can tell if it's a Roman key, by the strange angle of them. That one is amazing, look at that. Perfect condition. And there you have got a Roman fibula with some coins. And yet again I've been surprised by spindle whorls. They had spindle whorls in Roman times. I had no idea. I couldn't walk past without showing you the hoard. A hoard found in Kent. There you are, that's what they are and the numbers next to them. And I'll just run across them here. Look, you've got an axe head there. There were 352 objects in this hoard. This is obviously just a small selection of them. I've shown you some very old books in museums, but nothing as old as this one. I've shown you some signed by the king. This is the Lambeth Bible from the year 1150. 1150. This is all pretty fascinating simply because of the age of it all. Reading the sign there, now I'm guessing this is all Celtic. I'm not sure, it's before the Romans came over. But absolutely immaculate pots. A few coins there. Yeah, these are still like 300 BC. Well before Christ was born. Little horses. Even with wheels, look. And these are like, God, we're talking 2,500 years old. Okay, let's go back 520 years. This is a 16th century chair which was sat in by King Henry VIII. And apparently, don't know if it's true, but there's a story which goes with it. Henry VIII said any woman who sat in this after him had to be penalised by accepting a kiss. What a fascinating story. We're now into the futuristic department of the museum. That's my ex-girlfriend in 200 years. There's another chair with an incredible history. This was the chair of Napoleon. Napoleons Chair. Now, I don't know if you remember the story where he got arrested and sent to the island of St. Helena. But this is a chair from his island, St. Helena, and this was his chair. It's been a long time. You've got all these various bits of jewellery and things from the New Hebrides. Things here from the Solomon Islands. It is interesting, but after seeing, you know, like Iron Age and Bronze Age and Roman things, I wish I'd have seen this first. You know, I'm not interested in the handbag section or fans. That's just, you know, there should be a sign there saying girls only. Girls only, or a sign there, you know, basically something like warning, men may be offended or not be interested in this little section. But you're okay now. That's what I'd do if it were my museum. That's the most recent picture taken of my ex-girlfriend. There you've got a grass skirt from Fiji. Very dirty grass in Fiji, apparently. These are fishing lines, look, with floats and hooks. Made them out of wood. Fascinating. These are from Tonga. These are all arrowheads which have come from Australia, made in the 1900s. We can guarantee every one of them was made by a girl. No man would make one looking like that. Here you've got some art. That's art. That's a really big piece of art. I don't do art. I don't do art. I don't do art. It's rubbish. I was just about to leave the museum and I almost missed this part. This is Egyptian things. Look at the detail on some of these. Let me zoom in. Beautiful. Look at them. Look at them. Now these are really fascinating little mummy things. I was going to try and explain what they are and what they do. They used to put them in tombs with the dead people. And I was going to try and tell you exactly what it meant, but it's best that you read it because I just couldn't interpret it properly. I think it's trying to say these are supposed to do the work for them so they can have a rest. I don't know. You've read it, you tell me. And there you are, each number with its tells you all about it. Well, you can't have Egyptian without having a mummy. You've got a mummified bird there, a mummified cat, and a mummified alligator. Okay, we're back into Victorian stroke early 1900s things. That is a beautiful pram. Got your cup and ball there, 1830. Okay, some of them are older than I thought. That is amazing, look at that. And that is an original penny farthing from 1879. Not as big as I expected actually. I thought the front wheel would come up to like my head height. There's loads of cupboards full of plates and pottery. Same as art really, isn't it? Art and books and literature. We don't do it in poetry. We don't do that kind of stuff. We don't do that. It's boring. It's rubbish. I'm not sure I've ever seen a mummy before. A proper Egyptian mummy. But this is a mummy called Takesh. It's from 700 to 650 before Christ. Look at the size of the feet, they're absolutely tiny. I don't know how old she was. It tells you all about it there, but from what I read, the top of the, what do they call it, the esophagus or something, I don't know what they call it, was damaged in a fire in the 1800s, and the museum are actually trying to repair it at the moment. I hope that was to your liking. I really enjoyed it in there. Very good museum. So yes, on to the island of Sheppey now. Sheerness is the place I'm detecting tomorrow, and really looking forward to it. I'll catch you all tomorrow on Digging the Coast 365.